The first time my son came back from school in tears, my heart dropped. Not because I knew what happened, but because I didn't. Hi, my name is Suliat. You can call me Spicy. I am a travel and lifestyle content creator who lives in Canada. I'm going to be sharing with you how I do my makeup because I'm going for an event today, while I also share with you a very important story. So stay with me. I always get comments about my makeup and how I do it and how I should teach them. I mean, my friends and loved ones will always say, Julia, show me how you do this makeup. I want to learn. So today I'm going to show you guys how I do my makeup step by step in details. You're going to see all the T's. Don't mind the fact that I can't see clearly, so I'm having to move really close to my mirror. Next time I'm going to show you a better view and move closer to, like, set my camera better. This video is going to be focused on people who are not professionals, like people who just basically want to look good and do nice uh makeup without having all the professional gadgets. So as you can see, I before this video I already had my eyebrows cleaned. I don't have the tiny hairs around my brows growing and all of that, so I got that sorted already. So now all you have to do is use your brown eye pencil and use that to trace out the shape of your brows. Next, you use the spoolie to actually brush out the end the end of your lashes so that it doesn't look all sharp edged. So but before I forget, I need to quickly get back to my story. So while we do that, put on the foundation and blend everything in properly. I'll give you the tease into my gist now. So this day my son came back from school and we had just recently moved to that area, so it was our first time there. So the moment I opened the door and I saw his face, my mind just ran wild. I was like, what happened? This was our first day. Like, this was our very first day in a new school, a new neighborhood, a new reality. And this school, it sits right on the invisible line between the rich side and the poor side of the area. You know when they say same building, different assumptions? Exactly. And let's be honest, when you are a new immigrant kid with an accent, people already think that they figured you out. Assumptions, right? We had literally just returned from the Caribbean vacation. I was home that day, recovering from jet lag. And for once, I am glad I was home that day because, anyways, next we are going to be putting, let me go back to my makeup quickly. That is like two shades less, no, 2 shade lighter for your concealer. So I just put that in, just smooth it in the way you see me do, and then we'll blend it in to completely blend into the rest of the face. I don't like ash lines, so you'd see me do a lot of blending in this video. So you put it on those parts, those areas that I am focusing on. To I think the whole idea is just to brighten up those areas, and then the rest of the side of your face is supposed to be a bit shaded. So I'm not using a lot of instruments or a lot of products in this video because I'm assuming that it's our day-to-day makeup. The rest of us who are not like professional makeup artists with all of this stuff that we need. So with my foundation that is already there, I am just putting that concealer to brighten up those areas. You still see me use like darken the other sides of my face a bit to give it structure. You get it? Anyways, back to my story. So, like I said, we had literally just returned from the Caribbean vacation at the point, and this is also a new school, a new area. My kids were very fresh, so I'm sure they would have some anxiety, starting the school because it was new. We also had our anxieties, even though it wasn't the first time we were going to be changing schools for them. So we also had our reservations about, I wanted to be home actually, so I had I was just at home then because I wanted to rest from the jet lag. At the same time, wanted to be, create support for them when they return from school. So I'm really grateful that I was actually home, because when I asked my son what happened, he couldn't even speak at first. He just had a lot of tears in his face, and I was really scared and worried. Eventually, he said, yeah, some kids had been picking on him. They were not like physical, but they used words, they called him names and their tone and all of that. This was his first day in school in a new area. And that kind of harassment that doesn't even have physical bruises but stays in your chest, you know? As a mom, I felt so angry. I was scared. I was bitter. And as an immigrant in this country, I felt something else a lot. It dawned on me because this was new to us. My kids have never had to experience this, even though we had changed schools before, we've moved around. But this was the first time something like this was going to happen, especially immediately, you know? Quick one. You see how I'm ensuring that I go very close to the brows that I drew to ensure I give a neat and clean finish. Because with the concealers moving very close to it in a clean line, it's going to give it that clean look, and you'll be able to blend it in correctly. And you can see I'm not putting a lot of product. I'm making it very light. I'm using actually the applicator from the concealer itself. This is assuming that you do not have like a professional brush set that can give you, that you can have all the brush set that you would use. So this one is doing the job as well, as long as you ensure that you're not spilling a lot of product on that side, because it will be difficult to blend. So you need to blend this in gradually. I'm pinching my sponge to blend in, again assuming that we are not professionals here and we don't have a lot of instruments that we would use. So we're going to use the same sponge that we're using to blend our foundation. And that's what I'm going to use to blend in the concealer as well. I'm pinching it so that I don't erode the nicely drawn brows that I've done over there. So you pinch it in, take your time and be patient. After blending everything in, you'd realize that there's a lot of blending happening here. Quick note, I'm not sure I mentioned, you need to make sure that before you start your makeup, you would clean your sponge. I always wash my sponge at every time that I use it. I always wash my sponge because it gives me the opportunity to give it thorough cleaning as well as make my sponge very succulent for when I'm going to use it. So we'll do that. We'll blend everything in and then we'll move to the next stage, which is to set all the products that I've put on my face, all the concealer, all the areas that I had put concealer. I'm going to set it with a loose powder. You can use like a banana powder. You can find it on Amazon. I use that to set the products so that it doesn't move around during the day. So back to my story, I quickly composted myself, and I asked him, did you tell your teacher this? And he said yes. So I asked, what did they do, or what did he or she did do? And he looked at me and said, they said sorry. I said, that's it? No follow-up? No follow-up? No calling the other kids? No action? Don't mind me, I was listening to music there and I was just dancing. Anyway, back to my story. I was confused. I was wondering, why would something like that happen and no one would say anything to fix it. And right there I knew we are definitely not waiting till tomorrow. I told him, go and get dressed, let's go. Clean your face. And I went to my husband and I said, bros, we have a place to go to now. Everybody's getting dressed and we have to go to the school now. So we got up and we dressed up. And let me tell you something. I dressed like I was going to work. And I told my husband the same thing, like, you need to dress professional. He wore his suit. I wore my heels. I was looking professional. And this is not because I wanted to intimidate anyone, but because I refused to be dismissed. Anyways, we could have walked right there to the school because it was just down the street, but we drove. We drove to the school and we parked right in front of the building. Yes, that was on purpose. Then we walked into the office and asked to see the principal. They said the principal wasn't available. They tried to redirect us, they delayed us a bit, but when people see firmness, they feel it. They can see it. They can tell. Eventually, someone came out and wanted to know how they could help us. And I said to him, I prepared myself anyway to be very calm, regardless of what I was feeling inside me. So I just felt like I needed to be calm. So I explained to him calmly. I said, a child came to your school for the first time. He was harassed and he reported it and nothing was done. So that message, I'm not sure. What does it send? That it's okay, that the new kid in the school should just endure it? I told him my son is calm, respectful, never in trouble, and I would not allow him to be ignored because someone assumes maybe no one would follow up. Let us be clear. This wasn't about getting any child in trouble. It was about setting a standard. My child has parents. He has support. He has a voice, even if that voice had to be lent to him by me. Permit me to quickly go back to the makeup routine there because I promised to show you guys how I'm doing everything. So yes, I put the concealer, not heavily, but just gradually blend in the concealer on all the other parts. Just look at it as all the parts that we did not put the concealer, that's the part that we are going to shade, to ensure that those parts are darker than where the lighter shades are. Did I say concealer? Sorry about that. I mean, you need to contour all the sides from your, depending on the shape of your face as well. But we're not going to go into big details here. What we just want to achieve is a clean, nice makeup look. Nothing professional. So just put all the parts that you had initially applied the concealer, then you're going to contour the other sides. So you see how I did it? And I usually use that my concealers, the contour palette that I have. I usually use it also to create the base for my eyeshadow, as you see me doing there, to make the transition in between my skin, or the rest of the face, not be too sharp to the eyeshadow itself. So I'll put that in first, blend it in, blend in, blend in, blend in. Don't forget, you always blend in. There shouldn't be any contrast, like in terms of sharp lines between one thing or the other. So you blend all of that in and then you put something more pronounced, like an eyeshadow. I used like a gold tone of eyeshadow here. On my next video, I'll ensure to show you guys every single thing that I'm using so that you can follow suit. In case you want to buy something like that, then you can use it. So I'm using, you can use the tiny applicator that comes with your eyeshadow to apply that eyeshadow to your eyes, and then again blending. So let me get back to my story. Anyways, after giving them my mind and letting them know what had happened and how it is not acceptable, they apologized. They owned up to their fault, and they did promise that they were going to speak to the teacher involved as well so that they can do better next time. And they generally promised to do better. So of course I got home and ensured that I followed suit with an email, reiterating what we had discussed just for record purposes, so that there won't be any miscommunication or any assumptions in the future. Truth is, since that day, almost 2 years now, we have never had a repeating incident. Do I believe how we showed up mattered? Absolutely. And this is not because we are better than anyone, but because, perception is real. Bias is real. Even microaggression, these things are real. And sometimes people don't just even realize that they are doing it. You have to be conscious because we all do it. So you need to be conscious of this. As immigrants, we need to understand that. And we also need to understand how to respond when these things happen. Not with panic, not with rage, but with clarity. And sometimes presence. This story isn't about dressing well. It's not about shrinking yourself. It's about advocating for your children. It's about recognizing bias. It's about addressing it without losing yourself in the process as well. So now, I want to hear from you guys. If you're an immigrant or an immigrant parent and you've experienced something like this at any point in time, maybe at school, work, or anywhere else, how did you even handle it? No, I didn't forget that we were doing makeup. Okay. I did apply my blush very lightly again because I'm not doing anything dramatic, especially when you are not a pro yet. You have to, have very light hands when you are applying all this product so that you're not putting too much product that you cannot eventually handle, because you need to be able to blend this thing in and make it work on your face. So I added very light blush, and depending on the color that suits your face, because I really cannot talk on that one. You look for a color that would match your skin tone, and then you add the blush. And then I added my powder and blended everything in. You can see, like, applying the powder itself. Make sure one of the issues I used to have was always using my powder brush to rub over my eyebrows and the rest of the makeup. With time, you will get a hang of all of these things. You just need to be patient with yourself. So I added my powder and saw the part of the eyebrows too needed to blend in properly. You look at it thoroughly, and whatever you need to blend in, you blend it in. So next is the lip. Of course, you use our Davis pencil to line the lips. Now, it's not lining of lip is not standard for everyone. It depends on what your lip look like and what you want to achieve. So you can play around with things. Maybe initially try to line your lip, and other times you may not, and see what works for you best. So also with all the rest of the makeup. So I line my lips, and then I put my lip gloss on. This is a matte lip stain, and so you have to work with it quickly before it dries up. And I added the lip stain there and quickly blend it with the lined pencil to ensure there is no, again, sharp contrast. It has to blend into each other. And you don't have to keep your mouth open the way I keep my mouth completely open when I'm lining it. You can, be more posh with yours. Good for you. Anyways, once you're done with that, then put some shiny, nice, thick lip gloss that's gonna stay the whole day. Now, lip gloss again is not for everyone. If you are the type that like matte lip, you can leave it that way. But because I used eye pencil, like the Davis pencil, to create the dark top of the lip. If you're going to be using, if you're not going to be using lip gloss, I would suggest that you use a regular lip stain in that shade for that dark effect. But because I used my pencil, I needed something that would not make my lip completely dry the whole day. So after the lip gloss, of course, give that dab so that it's not concentrated around the parts where your lips are matching. Okay. Can see me already feeling myself. It's good to look good. I finished this off with a face spray. I use a matte finish because I have very glossy, very oily skin, and if I'm using something that is going to keep it oily again, it's going to be worse. So I'm always heavy on the spray because I feel like it blends everything in, like it seals the whole thing in very nicely. It makes all the blending work we did initially, it's just going to sit right. It's going to finish the work for you. And then afterwards, apply your mascara gradually so that you don't stain everywhere again. So apply the mascara and we are done. You can see me already looking peng. Peng. You know, it's not easy to be a fine girl. Feel me. Feel me. If you look good, trust me, your attitude is going to be different. The way you're going to talk, the way you're going to be approached, everything, you know. You can see I'm feeling myself. If now you know, feel yourself. You know, looking good is good business and you will never get it wrong with looking good. So you can see it's already intoxicating me. I'm loving the look. And one thing I need to also mention is initially when you finish your makeup, you may not see an absolute perfect, you know, look that you want. I've noticed over the years that with makeup, it takes time to settle in. So sometimes doing your makeup earlier, as long as you're doing good products and you're able to blend it in rightly, it's like fine wine. It gets better during the day. Like it sits nicely during the day. So you'd see the difference, absolutely. So dress up. Look good. See me, I'm all finished dressing here. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Put your comments in the comment section. Let me know truly if you've ever experienced something like I did with my son. How did you handle it? What is the best way to handle these situations? Please, or let me even know if I did handle it well. Cheers. Bye.